project is a cute little corner bookmark. Very simple to make. You can get 3 of these out of each sheet of cardstock. And so it's a very inexpensive treat to give if your school does or requests alternative treats to candy treats to be brought in for Valentine's Day for your kids or grandkids. It makes a great teacher gift, especially if you give it with a book, but a gift for anyone, even yourself. So here I have a book. Let me show you how it works. By the way, I don't know if this is a good book or not, but I figured for 50 cents, hey, might as well try it. I haven't yet. It was supposed to be on as part of my summer reading, but I got into some mysteries instead, and there I got stuck. So here's the bookmark. If you just put it in a couple of pages, it slides all the way in, protrudes very little, but it's very obvious where your book, where you left off. Very easy to find your spot, and it doesn't fall out. Let's go ahead and see how simple this is to make. Here is the template, which I will have on my blog, stamperhood.com. We're going to start with a piece of cardstock that measures 3.5 by 6 inches. Then we're going to score it at 1/2 inch. So with the short side on your cutting ruler, you'll score it at 1/2 inch. And then you want to score it at 3 inches with a long side against your cutting ruler. And then we'll be cutting away some pieces, which is what these cross hatches represent, and then putting it together. It really is very simple. So here we go. We've got our paper trimmer out. Because I'm making multiples of these, I'm just going to go ahead and get the 6-inch out of the way. Have a nice big scrap for some other project. And I need 3.5. Like I said, you can get 3 of these out of 1 sheet of cardstock. So here's my 3.5 by 6-inch piece. With this short side here, I'm going to score at 1/2 inch. And for the smaller measurements, I like just going over here to the 1/2 inch mark. And I'm using the lighter blade, which is the scoring blade. And then I'm going to turn it so that the long edge is against my ruler's edge. And I'm going to score it at 3 inches, so in half. I'm going to set my cutter aside for just a moment. So here's my scores over here. It might be difficult to see on camera. I'm going to cut the top half off. And then instead of cutting straight here, I'm actually going to miter this in because I want to make a nice finished project. And I want to miter this other piece in from the score line, about a 45-degree angle in. Now the other thing I want to do is from this piece that I just mitered, from this corner to where the score line meets the edge, I want to cut that diagonal away. I'm going to bring my paper trimmer in again. And what's great is you've got this little ditch. This is the cutting ditch. This is where it gets cut. So as long as I put this point and this score where the score meets the edge, as long as those are both in what I call that ditch, you will be able to cut right on the diagonal. It makes a nice clean cut, not a, I'm trying to cut on a straight line cut. It's an actual straight cut. So that is the basics for creating the bookmark. So see, I have that part right there. I will be folding on the score lines, and I'm just making sure that when it's closed, everything's lining up. It is, and I want to give it a really good press with my bone folder just to make everything nice and crisp. Now before I go and adhere this tab, by the way, the tab can go on the back but it's a little bit trickier. You have to cut away a little bit more or fold a little bit outside the score line, and it doesn't look nearly as finished with that tab showing on the back. So I actually like to tuck the tab in to secure that. I think it looks much more polished and finished. So before we actually adhere, we need to decorate, or at least put some something on this cardstock so it doesn't look quite so flat. I'm going to bring in my Highland Heather stamp pad. I'm going to bring in a piece of scrap paper. I'm going to take a heart. Now only this bottom half is going to show. The top half we're going to cover in a designer series paper. I'm going to stamp a couple hearts here, but also what shows is the back. So I am going to stamp some hearts randomly on the back as well. This heart comes from the stamp set Sweet Conversations, which was just released in the January to June 2022 mini catalog. There are a couple other solid hearts in here that I'm going to use as well. Let's just go ahead and get that stamping out of the way. And notice I'm varying the direction that I stamp my hearts in. And I don't really want, oh, that's going to be covered anyway, so it's fine. And one more. Let's give a couple of, we just have some different sized hearts on there. And put some more in here. Guess I forgot about my longer, skinnier stamp over on that one. That's all right. All right, so let's put these away. Now this Sweet Conversations stamp set comes with coordinating dies called the Sweethearts dies. And what's wonderful about these heart dies is you can see how many hearts that are in there. And there's actually more than you think that are in here. So these strips, this one and this one and this one, all create interlocking hearts. Let me show you what I mean. So these are connected hearts that came from this die cut. And you notice how the centers are empty? That produced 6 individual little hearts. This is a project I'm doing at my open house on January 15th, by the way. Everyone gets to come create this for free. And I had used the adhesive backing, so adhesive sheets, and it made sticking these on very quick and easy. There's a 6th one that's on the envelope. But one pass of the machine got me 6 little hearts and this nice little border inside. So that was pretty fun. So you can get a lot of hearts without a lot of effort. In addition to that, there's 1, 2, 3, this will be 2, 4, 5, 6 other little hearts that you can do. You put those all on one sheet and one pass through, you've got a lot of hearts to play with. So much fun. I'm going to take this larger die. We're going to be needing that. And I'm going to take this stamp. Now, it has a bunch of different sentiments, but I liked this Text Me one, especially because I'm making a corner bookmark. Book has what? Lots of text. That's right. Now, my sister taught English for a number of years, and she recently told me that she was not a huge fan of The Last Paper Pumpkin because it was all about puns. So she might not appreciate the Text Me on this, but I'm pretty sure that if there's any pun that she's going to appreciate, it's this one. Is it technically a pun? I'm calling it one. Anyway, so I'm going to clean this stamp and I'm going to get back out that large solid heart. I stamped this outline in a darker color. I stamped it in Gorgeous Grape just to help give it a little bit more definition, but you could certainly stamp it in Memento Black, and that would make it nice, nice and dark too. I need to just move my head a little bit. Hopefully I won't get it in the way. It's so hard stamping around the camera. Oh, pretty good though. All right, close up my ink pad. We're ready to die cut this. And then we're almost done, just one more step. I'm actually doing the final decoration before I'm doing the other decoration. So I just stamped this on a piece of, and I chose thick basic white because I wanted it to hold up to lots of use. Run this through my mini machine. We've got that cute little heart to put on our bookmark. So now more decoration here. There is paper that coordinates with, I'm going to need my paper trimmer. There's paper that coordinates with this as well. It's called, I believe it's called Sweet Talk. Yes, Sweet Talk Designer Series paper. Here are some of the patterns. This is a really fun pattern, especially if you were, you know, you had to choose a candy alternative. It's paper with candy on it. Lollipops and gum and hard candies, all that stuff. There's these little hearts. This page that has lollipops. A bunch of hearts with stripes on the background, on the back side, and then a bunch of more colorful hearts, some purple stripes. So lots of fun cardstock there. I'm going to, let's see, which piece will I use? I'll just use this piece, I guess. Oh, you know what? No, I don't. Sorry. I thought I already had a strip. I don't. I'm going to cut this at 2 3/4 inches wide. I need a 2 3/4 inch square because the base of our bookmark is a 3-inch square. Because remember, we folded over 1/2 inch, so this is 3 by 3. So I wanted something that was a little bit less. Now, if you have directional paper, you do need to pay attention to the direction, and I'll show you why. So here's my square. When I cut this, I have to cut this on the diagonal. So if I were to look at what this diagonal looks like, all the hearts are going in different directions. I'm not so sure if I like that direction or not. Obviously, I could flip it over and I could always use the words that are on the back. But let me try a different corner. Okay, then the "You're Cute" is certainly readable because you're going to be viewing it like this. So it's pointed a little bit that way, but not bad. This one's sideways and sort of upside down. But again, the hearts on this particular piece of Designer Series paper are going all sorts of different directions. So you just need to see which one suits you best. But you do want to pay attention if your paper is strictly intended for one direction, because it may not work for this particular project. I happen to generally choose things that will work no matter what. Then I don't have to think about it when I cut. All right, so we have these pieces now. It's time to assemble. I'm going to come in with my tear and tape, which is a very nice strong adhesive, and I'm going to put the adhesive next to the score line as much as possible. All right, take your pick tool, and that will that gets the adhesive backing up. Oops, my adhesive backing was scored at some point, so really this does make it a lot easier. See, there it goes. And I'm going to fold this down, give it a good press. You can use Stamp and Seal, or you can use liquid glue on this next step. If you use liquid glue, be very careful that you don't get too much near the edges. You don't want it squeezing out, because you don't want this to be sticky, because you will stick your pages of your book shut if it spills over. I tend to want to go with the seal for this, for that reason. And I put probably more on than I need to, but again, this is going to be used quite often. I want it to hold up nicely. There we go. And I want to put this Text Me on, and again, I want to make sure that that is on there pretty securely. I'm going to use my tear and tape, except I'm not really going to tear it. I'm going to cut it. There we go. And we're going to take your pick tool, because I know I can't do it with my fingers. I'm just lining that up, centering it. There we go. And that is our bookmark. Two-sided, got decorations on all sides, so I just need to bring my book back in. And I'm ready to go. I have my bookmark, can travel, can take my book wherever I want, and be confident that I can pick up where I left off. Happy Valentine's Day!